Hey, what's good, everybody? This is Owner Eating the Clutch, and just want to talk about, like I said in my last video, regarding what the Heat should do, instead of like the Heat trading Bam Adebayo for Joel Embiid. This is what I believe the Heat should do for this upcoming season. And just a disclaimer: everything I'm about to say in this particular video is if they trade for Damian Lillard. So most likely, if they do trade for Damian Lillard, they're gonna be probably out of assets, out of like whether draft picks or their role players if they want to get this deal done. So, let's just say it's mainly Jimmy and Bam and Damian Lillard and maybe one or two more guys from the championship team that made it to the finals, and so and probably one or two more draft picks. That's after Damian Lillard. Just making a hypothetical here. This is what I believe the Heat should do with how they should approach free agency to round out their roster so they can go compete for a championship, and not just for like a go all in 1 year, but they can for the foreseeable future. So right here, the remaining free agents that I suggested that the Heat should get, once again, if they do get Damian Lillard, is Kelly Oubre Jr., Christian Wood, Jalen Noel, Jared Culver. Once again, bring back Goran Dragic and Hamidou Diallo. So let me explain for mainly the top two guys I listed. So for Kelly Oubre, he's a great scorer. He is still in his prime at just 28 years old and coming off his best scoring season with Charlotte. He did average 20.3 points per game, 5.2 rebounds a game, 1.1 assists, 1.4 steals, shooting 43.1% from the field and 31.9% from three-point range. Not bad shooting numbers, but like one of the problems with the Heat is that this past season is that they were, on the regular season, one of the worst scoring teams, if not the worst scoring team in the entire league. Somehow they were able to turn it up in the playoffs, but like it's kind of a concern, like to just, for that long, being able to, like just like not score, because like yes, defense does win championships, but at the same time you have to put the ball in the hoop to be able to be productive, and so I do believe that Kelly Oubre, he'll be a great player, come off the bench, or sometimes if Jimmy Butler does get injured or has an off game, he can step up, take over the starting role for a few games and contribute and score. Let's say if he can score like anywhere between realistically 12 to maybe 18 points a game, that'd be really amazing, for Kelly Oubre to contribute and like help out the Heat's scoring problems, and also with their depth, because the Heat most likely they're going to need a lot of depth, after this trade with Damian Lillard. So Kelly Oubre will be a great role for this, and Christian Wood. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's not great on defense. I understand that, but like, Christian Wood, once again, he's also a great scorer as well. In this past season, he has put up some good numbers: 16.6 per game, 7.3 rebounds, 1.8 assists, 1.1 blocks per game, shooting 51.5% from the field while shooting 37.6% from three-point range, which is really good. And one thing about the Heat is that they are a defensive team. That's how Erik Spoelstra coaches his guys. And Erik Spoelstra had similar success with Hassan Whiteside. Hassan Whiteside was a guy that was like, he was basically out of the league at one point. He was like trying to fight his way to get back into the league as a young player. The Heat signed him, and Erik Spoelstra turned him into a defensive beast. Now, Hassan's like, work ethic was questionable, but like when the Heat needed him the most, he was able to get like triple doubles with blocks. He was being able to do a great defensive player, at least when he put in the effort. And with this Heat culture that's like being implemented, if Christian Wood does buy into the system and this culture, I do believe he can be just as good, if not better, than when Hassan Whiteside was during his Heat tenure. So I do believe that Christian Wood is a great option. And plus, the Heat are known for making taking chances on players and like taking on like projects, and they've been fairly successful doing so, with whether it's late round picks or getting undrafted players or taking on guys like Hassan Whiteside, like I mentioned. I do believe this will be a great chance for the Heat to do this. And what I said from Jalen Noel, Jared Culver, and Himalio Delalio was, you know, the Heat could also round up with more guard depth, you know. So because one of the things I noticed with the Heat is they had two problems. Number one was a lack of a true point guard, you know, like that's there consistently, and then the second is you know, lack of a true big man. You know, I like Bam as a, you know, player. He's like one of the best players on the Heat. You know, he's really great, but like I just don't see him like as a true center to like compete night in and night out with, you know, Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic, you know, or you know, things like that. You know, it's like, you know, because of the size mismatch. That's just my main concern. Not questioning his talent, not questioning his skills, just that, you know, that size difference does come into play at some point. So that's why, you know, like I do believe, you know, right here, what my idea is a little bit of a gamble, and it's going to take some effort, but I do believe the Heat should make a trade for Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton, he's only 24 years old, and he is rated as the third best defensive center with the third best defensive rating this past season. And, you know, not only that, but like he's like, you know, at 24 years old, he's still really young, and he can, you know, as one of the best defensive centers in the league, he can compete with Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Karl-Anthony Towns, DeAndre Ayton. He can compete with these guys night in and night out, and then that's able to slide Bam at the power forward position, his natural position, and he can be able to take care of the work with Giannis or Anthony Davis and all those guys. I do believe like that'll also like eliminate the Heat's size problems. So with that, them having their point guard in Damian Lillard, having their depth, you know, whether it's with the free agent signings or what they do best, you know, finding, you know, late round picks or undrafted guys, and having their true center for years to come with Nick Claxton while sliding Bam at the power forward position, I do believe it'll be very powerful. And also, I did mention Goran Dragic. I would like the Heat to bring him back because, you know, now that Udonis Haslem has retired, they do need a locker room presence, you know, someone who does embody Heat culture, and Goran Dragic can definitely fit that role, you know, to be that locker room leader and like be that mentor to the guys, because he did play his best years in the good majority of his career with the Heat. So I think it only makes sense for him to at least one more season to fill that role that Udonis Haslem did. So like I said, this is a video made in case the Heat do trade for Damian Lillard. This is what I believe they should do to round out their roster, stick to what they do best, find their late round and undrafted players and turn them into great role players. Sign these free agents that I mentioned for both depth, and also make a trade for Nick Claxton. Now, I know they're going to have some, you know, they have to probably make some assets to do so. Probably, in this case, they probably have to trade to take on Ben Simmons' contract, you know, if they have to do so. But I do believe if they get that trade for Nick Claxton, they have their center set for years to come, and Bam Adebayo can play to his maximum abilities. But Heat fans, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. I would love to hear your opinion. How would you guys fix and assess this roster if the Heat do trade for Damian Lillard? And please like and subscribe to this channel. I certainly love and appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, we're going to keep going, and let's go Heat. So God bless you all, and talk soon.